episode. Mushrooms are literally the underground internet. Hey friends, today I've got something really cool to share with you. Sit down, don't rush off anywhere. This one's about mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms in the forest, not the ones you stir fry with pork. But let me tell you, mushrooms are anything but ordinary. They're like the underground internet of the world. Have you ever heard of something like that before? Here's the deal. I once read that the mushrooms we see popping up above ground are just a tiny part of what they really are. Beneath the soil, there's a vast network of thread-like structures called mycelium, the true body of the fungus. It's like a network of cables that connects everything in the forest: trees, soil, insects, you name it. And get this, they can communicate. Mushrooms act as the middlemen, relaying information across the entire ecosystem. Scientists even call it the Wood Wide Web, just like the www we use for the internet every day. But nature had it figured out millions of years before we even existed. I first came across this idea through the work of a scientist named Suzanne Simard. She conducted experiments in forests overseas and discovered that trees can actually share nutrients with each other through mushrooms. For example, if one tree is struggling, lacking water or nutrients, its neighboring trees can send help through fungal networks. It's like a friend sending you pizza when you're hungry. And it's not just about food. They can even warn each other of danger. Like, hey, insects are coming. Release the pesticides now. I think that's incredible. It's like the forest has its own group chat. And then one day, I came across something even crazier. These fungal networks actually resemble a brain. A researcher named Paul Stamets found that mycelium has a structure similar to neurons in our brains. If you zoom in, it looks like a web of interwoven threads branching out in every direction. Some people even suggest that fungi might have their own kind of intelligence. Just imagine, if you walk into a forest and accidentally step on a mushroom, you might actually be interrupting a live conference call between trees. So, how does it actually work? Researchers have found that mycelium transports nutrients like carbon, nitrogen, and water to trees that need them. But that's not all. It also sends chemical signals carrying important information like, hey, there's a drought coming, conserve water, or watch out, beetle invasion. Studies show that trees connected to this network grow faster and survive disasters better than those standing alone. In a way, mushrooms act as both the postal service and the doctor of the forest. But what really blew my mind was the sheer size of these networks. In the northwestern forests of the United States, scientists discovered a mushroom called Armillaria ostoyi, the largest living organism in the world. Its underground mycelium spans an area of 2,385 acres, or about 9.6 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, it's larger than hundreds of football fields combined. And it's around 2,400 years old, meaning it existed long before most of recorded history. Just imagine how long this thing has been around. They say this mushroom isn't just huge, it's smart too. It's incredibly adaptive, capable of extracting nutrients from trees it doesn't like and redirecting them to the ones it favors. It's like the godfather of the forest, controlling who thrives and who withers. If you don't pay your protection fee, I'll drain you dry. Just kidding, but seriously, it plays a major role in regulating the entire ecosystem. And here's where things get even weirder. Some people believe fungal networks might be connected across the entire planet. There's a theory called the Gaia hypothesis, which suggests that Earth itself could be a massive living organism, with fungi acting as its nervous system. If that's true, then every time we step on the ground, we might actually be walking on the brain of the planet without even realizing it. So be careful, my friend. If the mushrooms get mad, they might just cut off our internet. But on a more serious note, mushrooms are actually helping our planet more than we realize. Researchers have discovered that mycelium can break down pollutants like oil spills in the ocean or even certain types of plastic. It's like nature's silent recycling machine, working for millions of years. Scientists are now experimenting with using fungi to clean up contaminated sites around the world. See, mushrooms aren't just underground cables, they're also Earth's unsung heroes. And what about the future? Some scientists dream of mimicking fungal networks to create new technology, like low energy internet systems or communication networks that function like mycelium. Imagine if one day we moved from Wi Fi to mush-fi. You might have to grow mushrooms next to your router to boost the signal. Okay, I made that part up, but honestly, it might not be that far from reality. What mushrooms have taught me is that life in nature isn't isolated. Everything is connected. Trees, fungi, soil, insects. They all work together in a system far more complex than we can fully comprehend. Maybe if we stop seeing ourselves as the center of everything and start listening to this underground internet, we might discover something amazing that we've never thought of before. So next time you walk into a forest or see a tiny mushroom poking out of the ground, take a closer look. It's not just an ordinary fungus. It could be a cable, a brain, or even a hidden hero of our planet, quietly working for millions of years. And if you accidentally step on one, be sure to apologize. Otherwise, it might just cut off the entire forest's internet. That's all for today, friends. I'll be back with more cool stories next time. Take care, and see you soon.